Thank you. I used to be a representative, now I'm a senator, so it's fun too. My name's Ron Erickson. I do represent Southeast Missoula in the Montana State Senate. And I want, first of all, to thank particularly all the young people who've come and had such great words for us. It's a good thing to see. My perspective is a little different. I taught for a long time at the University of Montana. I gave my first talk on global warming more than 40 years ago. And back then it was a theory, and now it's real. But I want to talk specifically to the Land Board. I know all of the Land Board members. I know them well. Pretty well, particularly Linda and Monica. I sat next to Monica for the whole session once. And I know that the Land Board does have responsibilities, and it has real long-term concerns. And one of those concerns was talked about earlier tonight with funding schools. And that's an important topic, something that they have to think about. But in fact, what they have to think about most of all is the future. And that's so hard for politicians. It's so hard for politicians because they're not going to be there but for 4 or 8 or 12 or maybe 16 years. But what we need to worry about is the distant future. Global warming is the problem, and coal is an interesting resource because right now, every way we use coal has to do with burning it. Either we burn it for electric power, or we have the possibility in the future, and Brian, I know in particular, is very interested in this, in making it into a liquid, which will then burn, putting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. But in fact, if we think long-term enough, we can recognize, and now I'm speaking as the chemist I used to be at one time, coal is carbon, and carbon is useful for things other than burning. And there'll come a time when all of these folks who are now so young will be quite a bit older. In fact, I'm thinking of the time in the 22nd century when all the other fossil fuels are gone and we still want to make chemicals one way or another, and we could still have that carbon left in eastern Montana to be able to use in a recyclable way as chemicals rather than this terrible, terrible process we have of, as someone was saying, perhaps flooding out Bangladesh. So, Land Board, think farther into the future than all of us as politicians usually do. Thank you.